Hello, ladies and gentlemen, beautiful kings and queens and viewers across the World Wide Web. What's up? Welcome back. This is Tune 215, and today we're going to be doing a walking tour of the Old Kensington neighborhood. Not to be confused with the notorious Kensington neighborhood, which is only 0.7 miles away from us. It's about less than a mile, about a 4-minute walk behind me. We're traveling southbound. Old Kensington is south of West Kensington, East Kensington, and your traditional Kensington. The regular Kensington isn't called North Kensington, but we could only assume that it's North Kensington because it's north of Old Kensington. On my left-hand side, we have Fishtown. Right of Old Kensington is the Ludlow neighborhood, and south of Old Kensington is Northern Liberties. Right now, we're on the boundary. We're at Cecil B Moore Avenue, which is also known as Columbia Avenue. We're at Front and Cecil B Moore Avenue. Right above us, we have the Market Frankfurt Blue Line train that travels northeast to West Philly. Right now, we're going to be doing a different style of walking tour. I want to get back to my roots, and my roots being, I want to try and experiment. I know that other Kensington walking tour that I did that has close to 800,000 views, I did not move the camera left, I did not move the camera right, I didn't move it up, I didn't tilt it down, I didn't do anything like that. I just walked, and I kept it like a virtual experience. That's what I would like to do today. Just walk, no slowing down, no tilting up or down, no turning the camera. I just want to walk and keep you guys facing forward. So this is going to be an experiment. Let's experiment together, ladies and gentlemen. We're at Front and Oxford Street. We got the 100 block of Oxford on my right-hand side. We're traveling to the 1500 block Front Street on my right-hand side. We got the Girard Ave Cafe. On my left-hand side, we have another outdoor eatery. Yeah, so the boundaries for Old Kensington, O-L-D-E, not O-L-D. The boundaries for Old Kensington, hold on. I'm sorry, I just took a break there because I didn't want to try to scream over the train that's above us. So the boundaries for Old Kensington are Front Street to the east, 5th Street to the west, Gerard Avenue to the south, and Cecil B Moore Avenue to the north. There's a lot of new houses in this neighborhood that were built within the last decade. Old Kensington has always been the nicer out of the other Kensingtons, west, east, and north, because it's closest to the city. We're about, I would say, 5-10 minutes from Center City, Philadelphia. And if you take the train above us, you'll get there in 2 to 3 minutes, given that the train arrives on time. On my right-hand side, you guys see that there's an American vinyl company. They manufacture windows, bows, bays, sliders, casements, etc. The gentleman was listening to some music, and I was doing my best to break up that sound bite so I don't get hit with that music strike. American Vinyl Products Inc. Factory showroom. Stock windows are at $144.50, $144 US and 50 cents. On my left-hand side, if you guys take a look, you'll see some new buildings that have rusted paneling from the 2nd floor up. That's the stylization they put there. We're passing the Flying Pig picture frames. These lots on my right-hand side, I'm sure they're already owned. They're about to start doing construction here soon. On my left-hand side, we have Groom and Board, which is a daycare, boarding, and grooming spot for dogs. On my right hand side, we got Goods Spoon Soupery. It's like a soup kitchen where you can purchase a variety of soup. On my left hand side, we have another outdoor eatery. On my right hand side, we got the L Bar, which is located under the L. On my right hand side, you'll see a parking lot that was just added recently. There's a lot of homes on my far right. You guys will see them when we come back down. Since we're not going to turn the camera, you guys will eventually see them when we zigzag through the neighborhoods. I'm going to stop at Girard, make a right, and come back down on Hope Street, then make a left, come back up Howard, then make a right. And, you know, I'm going to do my best to try to take you through all the little side blocks. This is monthly parking on my right hand side. We had a little bike shop on my left hand side, but I believe they closed down. It wasn't there for long anyway. This building right here on my right hand side, luxury apartments, 1 to 3 bedroom penthouse apartments for rent. That's what they call them, penthouse. 1316 Front Street. These are all new buildings on my right hand side. On my right hand side, you'll see a nice painting. We're now at front of Thompson, and on my left hand side there's a restaurant called Front Street Cafe. I've eaten there on a few occasions. They make some nice plant-based dishes. We had a female ride by on her bicycle. Again, on my right hand side, private rear yard, basement, commercial retail space. That was a new building. We got Liberty Kitchen on my right side. We got Fishtown Station on my right side. So this street, Front Street, borders 2 neighborhoods. Fishtown on my left. You walk 1 block to my left, you're in Fishtown. If you walk 1 block to my right, you're in Old Kensington. We have David Tire Shop across the street. Pressure Auto Detailing on my left. We're walking over some cobblestone. It's a cobblestone sidewalk. It's about to transition to regular cement. This cement has little stones and gravel in it, and then it transitions to clean cement without the stones or the gravel, which was just added not too long ago. All these buildings on my right are new. I don't know if you could tell by the meters, by the little mailboxes, the for rent signs. We got MB Auto and Truck Service right in front of us. We're now passing Sushi and Ramen, Joseph Sushi and Ramen Bar. I'm assuming that that place was recently created, probably like within the last 3 or so years, because I remember there being a little, like a Quickie Mart. There's a Quickie Mart there. We're at front of Girard. On my left hand side, we had JJ Malone's. I'm gonna make this right hand turn right here. Tattoos by Bonnie and Clyde. We're gonna make this right hand turn on the 1200 block of Hope Street. This is Hope Street. There's a lot of new construction up and down this avenue of Hope Street. Back in the late 90s, Hope Street used to have a lot of lots, abandoned houses and or lots. But they started buying everything out within the last 20 years. Gentrification, I remember being notified that it was going to hit this neighborhood in 2001. That's when I started attending community meetings, things like that. When they wanted to get the community involved, the residents from the neighborhood. And I was one of the youth that was speaking on behalf of the community. And I remember in 2001, they told me this would happen between the local nonprofit organization notifying me and my pop's 2 cents. I was well aware that this would come. And now I'm old enough to see it come to life. On my left-hand side, those yards were added, I would say, when was Johan's Gym knocked down? Because that whole block was made where Johan's Gym was at. What, 2002, 2003? Yeah, those yards on my left. Back driveways, backyards and everything. Wow, that dog could easily jump over. Pit bull. Luckily, I like dogs. If not, I would have been running. It was like a little 3-foot fence and the dog's like, "Roof." And he like had a clean pathway to jump over. All right, we're passing Thompson Street. It's gonna get a little noisy over here, so I'll probably stay quiet when we're walking by the noise so I don't have to scream. This house on my left has rust. That's the style of it. Okay, remember when we were walking down Front Street, we saw this lot on my right-hand side that was for parking. Told you that there was new houses built right next to it. These are the new houses on my left-hand side. This whole strip is new. Completely new strip. There's actually one still available. Many of them look like they've been sold. Up top, you guys can't see, but they have front 3rd floor porches. So they have a little porch access, a little balcony that you can sit out and stare off into the transit line. Sotheby's International Realty. There's a little garage on my left-hand side. When the blocks are this small, you gotta park on the sidewalk on my right-hand side, as you can see. But sometimes that becomes a disadvantage if there's somebody who's on a wheelchair, wheelchair accessible, then they're blocked by the vehicle. Okay, we're on Hope. I believe this is Master Street. Master. We're exiting the 1300 block of Hope. Yep, this is Master. Now entering the 1400 block of Hope Street. And again, if you look on my left, you look on my right, majority of these houses are brand spanking new. Except this one on my right, with the air conditioner sticking out with the vinyl siding. That's an original home. But everything after that, on my right and on my left, these are new buildings. For sale on my left, there's still one available. The ones on my right are 2-story, the ones on my left are 3-story. It looks like they got a little private driveway on my left-hand side for private parking. Let me see. Yep, private garage and private parking. For those of you who are concerned about parking. These houses right here on my left are the original ones. There's 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Fourth one has a little stucco and they got a little vinyl siding. And then the 2 right here are 3 windows wide with a garage. Open house. There's still one building available. For sale on my left-hand side, 2 parcels, 1437 North Howard Street, 4-bedroom house at 1436 North Hope Street. It's a lot. They're selling the back lot and the front house combined as a 2-parcel unit. New building on my left, new building on my right. Now, technically, we would want to keep traveling forward in order to continue walking through Hope Street, but I don't think that's going to be possible right now. with the way that is looking closed off. So I'm gonna have to make this quick, abrupt left turn. I have to make an executive decision to do what's right. We're like a block or two shy of Cecil B Moore. I mean, I believe we're 1 block shy. We're on Jefferson. We just left Hope and Jefferson. Yeah, no, we're actually like 2 blocks shy. Wow. 2 blocks shy. But my initial plan was to turn up here. Make an executive decision too quick. All right, let's make this left-hand turn on Howard and Jefferson. That's because I already showed y'all a little bit of that. If you go take a look at my walking to East Kensington walking tour, you will see that I literally showed y'all that block that was next to the school. There was a little school, John Moffitt, I believe. Yeah, we walked by there when I told you guys about the U-Haul truck that stole the lady's purse and hit the outdoor dining arrangement and all of that stuff. So y'all saw some of that. So it'll be quite repetitive if I walk through it. So let's keep on walking this way. I wanted to zigzag. That was my goal, to zigzag. But of course, detours are out of our hands. We can always control a detour. Now, a lot of these houses in this block, the ones we just walked by, were all original homes. And then we got several right here that are brand new. See right here on my left-hand side, these are new. You can see by the side banisters, the sidewalks are new, the front bricks are new. This is the 1400 block of Howard Street. On my right-hand side, there's a warehouse across the street. Now we're on Howard and Master. There's a little garden on my left-hand side with a little gazebo. Retail office space available at 1400 North Howard Street. We're crossing Master Street. On my right-hand side, you'll see a ton of new buildings. Those are 4-story. On my right-hand side, the first floor is dark blue bricks, or you can say dark. They look bluish, grayish brick. And then the second, third, and fourth floor vinyl siding. There's actually four stories, and then the rest are 3 stories. Up top, they have little porches. These houses on my left are the original houses. We have a female cyclist on her e-bike. These houses on my left-hand side are also new. You can look down. You can look to the left of the screen, and you'll see this whole little area has been refurbished. Now, come here 20 years ago, the sidewalks might have looked a little bit aged, 70-year-old sidewalks. The building was old also. If there was any that was available, they were bought out and knocked down for the new project, and some were lots. So, all right, we're passing the C. Ranny Reed. What is it? I said the C. Rannery. That's a joke. It's the Cranery bike shop. Y'all should have saw how it was written though. It was so spaced out, kind of questionable. Yo, how they lock that door that hard behind me? When I walk by, they hit lock, switch, lock. We got the Laser Wolf on my left-hand side. As you can see, they have the outdoor dining tables on my right. This corner is where Johan's boxing gym was at. We're on Howard and Thompson. And these are the homes that I said that were made probably like within the last 15 to 17 years. I remember hearing the news when they were knocking down Johan's gym because I had some childhood friends that I grew up on the block with that they went to Johan's. They used to practice there and box there. These houses on my left are relatively new, less than 20 years old. The ones on my right are the original homes across the street. And to give you an idea on date, some of them original homes were made in 1912, 1919, 1921. You could say the early 1900s. We're in the 1200 block of Howard Street. We have a female watering her plants.
I'm trying to sell it without a realtor.
Okay.
But I'm talking to realtors right now.
You heard what that gentleman was talking to her about? He's about to list the property on Zillow, which is a app where you can buy and sell houses. And he was talking to her. He said that he's trying to sell it privately. He prefers to sell it privately, but he's also weighing out his options to see, you know, what it would cost with a realtor's push. You know what I mean? Because, you know, houses sell faster with a realtor. So that goes to show you there's people moving in and there's people more than happy to move out. Sometimes people, in my opinion, move to the city because they're from the suburbs, so they don't have the easy convenience that we have over here in the city. Convenience meaning stores, restaurants, CSC Electronic across the street. That's all I see. I used to be there a lot when I was a youngster, buy car audio equipment. They closed down a couple years ago though. We just exited the 1200 block of Howard Street. We're at the borderline of Old Kensington on Girard Avenue. We got Ceramic nails on my right hand side. There's a lot for sale on my right, and across the street there's another lot for sale. On my left hand side is Northern Liberties. That's a neighborhood hit heavy with gentrification, and it's now considered like a hipster neighborhood. We're gonna make this right hand turn on Masher Street, the 1200 block of Masher. Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, I believe this neighborhood is becoming sought after because of the convenience. Access to the city, access to outdoor dining, bars, pubs, the nightlife that a lot of these people in their 20s, 30s, late 30s didn't get access to when they were in the country, when they were in the burbs, when they were in, you know, a place where you had to travel half an hour to eat, you had to travel another 40 minutes to go get food, you know, for the house, for the week. If they wanted to go out and do any outdoor activities and or like nightlife, they would have to travel, you know, many minutes/miles away to get to where they wanted to get to. Here, it's 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 20 minutes there, you know what I mean? And then employment. There's job opportunities here for the grads, for the people who do have the education. There's a lot of job opportunities and they're located in the heart of the city. So that's kind of like a win-win. They move over here from their quiet little, you know, suburban town where there might not have been as many job opportunities. There might not have been much of a nightlife, a social life, social environment, social setting. A lot of the new, younger crowd, they're more open-minded to this urban life. Whoa, that Mercedes barely stopped. You saw that? He barely stopped. She's on her grind. Y'all saw her again. The bicycle lady is on her grind. On Masher and Thompson. Yeah, the bicycle lady almost got clipped by that Mercedes. The Mercedes didn't even make a complete stop. That's messed up. But yeah, so I think that's the scenario. And as more people move in, prices go up. Old residents move out. And the whole demographic of the neighborhood changes. A neighborhood that may have once been primarily, you know, Hispanic, may have been African American, may have been, you know, working class, you know, the old school working class Irish or Italians or whatever from back in the day, now are filled with the younger hipsters, you know what I mean, of all walks of life. It's not just Caucasians that are moving in, but Asians, people from, you know, different African, you know, towns and or I don't know what you would consider countries, right? I've seen a wide variety of people move in. And we spoke briefly about this the other day, is that those people, you know, if they come from Miami, if they come from New York, especially New York, it's very expensive to live in New York. To buy a home is $2, $3, $4 million, you know what I mean? And or, you know, buying a loft or buying a condo or things like that, or even renting, it's extremely expensive. Same thing with California, with LA and all that, right? San Francisco, etc., right? They come over here, they spend maybe $700,000, $600,000 on a home, right? and they have a whole lot more pocket change left. They're probably making the same income. They're able to live close to the same life for a fraction of the cost. You understand? For a fraction of the cost. Save money. When you have New York, you know, you got rent going for $5,000 a month, $6,000 a month. You come here, you know, rent is, you know, in some places, rent is what, $1,500 to like $2,500 to $3,000 here. To lifelong residents of Philly, people are wondering, wow, that is bonkers. Like, who would pay so much to live in the hood? Guess what? It won't be the hood for long. It won't be. There's a time line on when the hood will no longer be the hood, and it'll get back to being a neighborhood. Because what happens when you remove the neighbors from neighborhood? It's the hood. What happens when you put the neighbor back in hood? Hello, neighbor. Good morning, neighbor. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir. We don't do that in the hood no more. Might say what's up. Might nod our head, might handshake and whatnot, you know? But, yeah, once it ends up being the hood again, or the neighborhood again, you're gonna see 10, 15 years, you're gonna see the difference. This will end up like Northern Liberties. And if you know what happened with Northern Liberties is, phew, compared to what it was 20 years ago. I mean, Northern Liberties was okay 20 years ago because it's right next to Spring Garden, which is, again, prime real estate. It's right up the block from Delaware Avenue. That's Penn's Landing. You understand? Columbus Boulevard. It's like Monopoly. I've said this once and I say it again. You know, on the Monopoly board, the closer you get to Pass and Go or to Boardwalk and Park Place, we're passing Jefferson. We're on Master and Jefferson. The closer you get to Boardwalk and Park Place, or, you know, to the green ones or to the yellow ones, you know, the closer you get there, the higher price the real estate is and the rent. But it's sought after, right? When you're closer to go to jail, or purple, or the brown ones, or the orange ones, those aren't as sought after. Well, that's how it is in real life. The closer you get to the heart of the city, the closer you get to, in Philadelphia's case, the closer you get to Spring Garden, the closer you get to Broad Street, the closer you get to Market Street, the closer you get to JFK, the closer you get to all these, you know, prime real estate locations, the more you're going to spend, the more access you're going to have to all Philly has to offer. You know, if you live in the heart of the city, there's no reason for you to really go elsewhere. You wouldn't need to go travel to the hood. You wouldn't really need to go to North Philly, West Philly, unless you're going to like a specialty shop or specialty restaurant, or going somewhere where you need to, you know, go somewhere where they specialize in that stuff, because they don't have it all in Center City. But for the average American with a hefty bank account, they got all you can need in Center City. And if they don't have it, you can order it via Amazon, eBay, online, right? Right or wrong? Amazon Prime, boom, next day. They don't need to leave their loft, or they don't need to leave their apartment or whatever. You know what I mean? We're living in a new day and age. We're on Masher and Oxford. Okay, so this is a little tricky here, because since that threw me off, I showed you guys this before. I really want to, let's make this left. I'm going to have to make an executive decision and go left on Oxford, because I really wanted to show you guys this little horse stable. And since I know that I'm not going to be able to turn the camera abruptly like how I would normally turn it, I figured I wanted to come down Hancock rather than go up. We're traveling right now. We're traveling westbound. Behind me is eastbound. On my right is northbound. On my left is southbound. So I wanted to travel northbound up Hancock so you guys can see this little horse stable. I'm hoping that you guys can get a cool little view of the horses that are out here. If there's no horses out here, I do apologize. I did try my best to show you guys the horses. We're on Hancock. I'm gonna make this right-hand turn on the 1600 block of Hancock. There's a little horse stable right here. If the horses are outside, then you get a good view. I don't see them washing them. And usually they have them right out here. They're like washing them. I can, you know, theoretically speaking, I have the ability to turn the camera. However, due to this experiment that I would like to do, I want to see what are the results if I don't move the camera. if I keep it virtual. I like this type of tour because it's virtual. Like, it's literally virtual to the max. You can't stop it. I'm walking for you, the camera's floating. You're looking left, you're looking right. If I'm walking too fast, you know, slow down the video speed in your YouTube browser and or pause it and rewind. You understand? But I like this experience. Many people have commented in the comment section of their other Kensington video. They said it feels like they were watching a video game. You understand? So I think that's pretty cool. On my left hand side is the horse stable. Ah, there's a horse out there. I really want to turn it. Ah, would it be wrong if I turn it? Ah, I don't want to turn it. OCD says keep the camera straight. Ah, that blows. He's right there. Nice little horsey horse. It's cool. Another time I'll come through here on one of them turning tours. Or I'll do like a 360 VR tour. If you're new to the channel, I also have 360 VR tours on my page, where you, the viewer, can look wherever you want on the screen, all full 360 degrees. We just passed the stable. Oh, hey, horsey. Cool, another horsey in there. He had the horse blinders. All right, we're at Hancock and Cecil B Moore. This is the border. If we cross over, we'll be in the Norris Square neighborhood. And then after the Norris Square neighborhood, you'll hit the West Kensington neighborhood, which is all within the same realm. This is in North Philly. On my right hand side, we got Keystone Mini Golf and Arcade. We got Palethorpe Street here, and they're doing some new construction on my right. I can make a left here, can I? Can I? Ah, OCD says make a left. Make a left. Maybe they can see the horse again. Yeah. There's new buildings right here on my right. It's a large project, relatively new. And I think we're gonna hit a lot soon. Ah, you guys might have got to see a horse a little bit. Ah, I cheated. I cheated. Y'all got a chance to see a little horse. I cheated. I'll turn the camera in the slightest angle, ever so slightly. See, going around the block was worth it. All right, right in front of us is a dead end, so I'm gonna have to make this right. Walk onto 2nd Street. I'm gonna make this right-hand turn, and then we're gonna make a left on 2nd Street. Yeah, I remember checking out some of the comments to that Kensington video that I said that's, you know, close to 800,000 views. A couple people were like, dude, but you act like you couldn't turn the camera. Dude, move the camera. They said, dude, tilt the camera. Let's make this left. We're on Turner Street, 2nd and Turner. 100 block of Turner on my left-hand side, 2nd Street on my right-hand side. 2nd Street is kind of like a high traffic street. It's a lot of traffic every day, all day, all times of the night. This is like one of our main streets. It's a small street. It's a 2-lane street. Travels one way, travels southbound. But nevertheless, or nonetheless, or less to less, it's a fast-paced street. So fast that they had to install speed bumps from like 2nd and Lehigh, which is like 8 blocks behind me. From like 2nd and Lehigh to like, I think it was like Erie, 2nd and Erie. For like a whole little mile strip or so, give or take. They had to install speed bumps on every block, almost like 2 sets of speed bumps per block. So that goes to show you. There was actually somebody that was recently, he was a deaf man. He was deaf, and he was dragged on 2nd Street down this block right here. Not this specific block right, you know, where we're on, but maybe like a mile up the road behind me. It was like, I would say 2 months ago. I would say, yeah, give or take. 2 months ago. The new construction on my left. Wherever you hear these generators and all this stuff, and you see these fences, and you see all the woodwork, new homes. And this block right here has always been relatively nice. I ain't gonna fraud. This block right here has been pretty nice, well-kept block. See on my left, look on my right. These are all the original houses for the most part, with the original brickwork. Look at, they got an outdoor porta potty right here. But yeah, this block has been relatively nice. It's a mixture of people from the Middle East, like Arabs, Palestinians, etc., etc. and a mixture of, you know, Spanish and Caucasian and whatever. A variety of, you know, diverse cultures in this neighborhood right here. This building on my left is pretty new. They made it probably like 2 years ago. Probably luxury apartments, something of that nature. We got El Greco Pizza on my right hand side. We got Sri Ram Dry Cleaners on my right hand side. It's a laundry service. We're at 2nd and Jefferson. On my left hand side, we have St. Michael's Rectory, 1445 North 2nd Street. On my right hand side, we got airbrush, face tanning, body contouring, teeth whitening, and more. We got St. Michael's Church on my left hand side, founded at 1833. Replenish Massage Spa, that's that spot across the street on my right. I flew some nice drone footage over this church before. I do have an older demo reel related to aerial cinematography on my page. You gotta look for it. You could probably type like Tune 215 aerial cinematography reel or something like that. It's on my page. It's over 1,000 videos, so if you guys get bored and want to binge on some of my content, there's a wide variety of content. But in that demo reel, I have a really epic shot flying over that church that we just walked by. Really epic shot. For the month of May to probably the transition to the month of June, I'm probably going to be doing a whole lot more of just walking tours. These 4K traditional virtual tour and the 4K 360 VR. Now that's true virtual reality because you can look all the way around me, and if you had the goggles, then you can really become immersive with the footage. On 2nd and Master, we got a Mexican taco restaurant across the street on my right, a taco authentic food spot. That building on my right, they just made that last year. It's brand new, brand spanking new. Dwell Luxury Apartments, brand spanking new, less than a year old. But yeah, so for this month coming up, I'm going to be doing nothing but walking tours, and I'll drop a couple scooter tours, and lastly, I'll drop a couple aerial tours. I gotta be really cautious with the aerial tours, with the aerial cinematography. A, because the battery life, it's not that long. It's about 20-minute battery life. B, because I gotta be cautious where I fly at. Certain places are no-fly zones, and there's a lot of magnetic interference, especially with the cell phone towers and or the Wi-Fi. Like the Wi-Fi signals, you know how everybody nowadays got a router box and there's all these different Wi-Fi connections that come up. Like if you pull your phone out and you search Wi-Fi, you'll see like 10, 15 signals on your block that'll pop up. That's not healthy for the type of drone that I'm flying. Yeah, so gotta be cautious where I fly at, how I fly. Yeah, so. But we're on the 1300 block of 2nd Street. So that's my goal. Do, I would say, 80%, 70 to 80% more walking tours, 10% more e-object tours. It might be e-scooter, might be e-bike, might be e-skateboard. Something with an E in front of it if it's electric operated. And then 10% or so of, you know, aerial tours, which is from above. For those of you who don't know what aerial means, it's from the sky. All right, passing Thompson. All right, I'm gonna have to do a trick move here because we missed some of Hancock, remember? You remember? Because we missed some of Hancock. We tried to take the little horse detour. Since that first block on Hope Street kind of cut us off and threw us off of our little momentum. Technically, I'm supposed to keep going right because that was my goal. You know, Old Kensington ends at 5th Street and we're only at 2nd Street. So you do the math. If we're only at 2nd Street, we still got, you know, a few blocks to go on my right. 3rd Street, 4th Street, 5th Street, and all the little streets that's in between. So what I want to do, though, is I'm going to make this left over here. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to make this left, and then I'm going to make another left. We're going to make a left on Thompson. The reason why I want to cheat is because I want to show you guys this block of Hancock right here. It's a relatively clean block. The block that we're on 1200 block North 2nd Street. But if you go to 1200 North Hancock, it's a relatively nice block. Uh-oh, they're playing music. All right, guys. So with the music involved, I'm going to have to... Yo, did that dude on the wheelchair just whip his sign out from behind his wheelchair? Whoa, and he got some money. That's awesome. He gave him some money. That's decent. But I'm going to have to talk over the music just so I can break up the sound bite. You know what I mean? Oh, there you go. There you go. Let's make this left-hand turn on Girard. All right, cool. Phew. Yeah, because we're on Girard. We just made a left on 2nd and Girard. We had a bank on my left-hand side. I try to talk over the soundbite so that we don't get a clean audio soundbite. There's softwares that these companies use in order to pick up who's using their music. And if the soundbite clip is longer than 8 seconds, if it's 8 seconds or longer with the clean sound file, their system will flag it, and then you'll get hit with a copyright, usage strike. So then the company who owns the copyrights to that song will be the one picking up the pennies and or revenue that I generate from the videos. So that's why in some of my videos, you will hear me try to overtalk the music or try to talk every, several seconds. So that's the situation there. Let's make this left-hand side. We're gonna make this left turn on Hancock Street. It's a 1200 block of Hancock. But yeah, so, and I know some people say Batoon, but it's fair use. You didn't play it. You didn't, you didn't purposely play the music. But believe me, it always comes up. It always flags the video. And then I end up getting hit with it. So I try to do my best to, do that, which is pretty much what I practice. I know it sounds silly trying to overtalk music, but especially in the summer, and the more we get to the hood, the more music you hear every other block. But when you're in like the nicer neighborhoods that aren't too, I would say, how can I say this kindly? Aren't too urban filled. I don't know, but there isn't a lot of young people playing music, you know what I mean? Or old people, because there's a variety of people that play music. It's not just young people, but when there's a neighborhood where there's not a lot of music being played, for example, there's a lot of areas in South Philly, not all of South Philly, but if I walk through like, the Queen Village neighborhood, or walk through like the Southwark neighborhood, or I walk through like, there's a lot of neighborhoods, the Belmont neighborhood. There's a few neighborhoods that I can walk through where I won't hear music as often. But now, for example, if I walk through like Fair Hill Badlands, boom, every other block there's music. If I walk through Hunting Park, there's a lot of blocks with music. You know what I mean? There's like certain areas, there's gonna be music that's gonna come with it. All right, we're gonna make this left-hand turn on Thompson. Here we go. Oh, hold on, could I do a double cheat? Oh, I think I could do a double cheat, y'all. I think I could cheat and cheat on top of cheating. Check this out. There's 2 buildings for sale on my right-hand side. Development opportunities. 2 parcels, 175 and 177 West Thompson are for sale. A 3-story and a 2-story. They're selling them together. Includes 2-car garage on Palethorpe. Wow, on my right-hand side. Spectacular, sir. Let's make this left-hand turn on the 1200 block of Palethorpe Street. Y'all see how I did a double cheat? Oh, I did a double cheat. We're gonna end up right back on Girard, so I think that's pretty convenient, you know what I mean? Now from Girard, we can cut down, and then I can show y'all some of the other buildings that they made in the neighborhood. Girard Avenue is like one of our main avenues. It pretty much takes you to 95, which is the highway. Girard Avenue takes you to the zoo, if you want to go to the Philadelphia Zoo. You can take Girard Avenue to West Philly. Girard Avenue, I believe it takes you to 76 also if you keep going west. Girard Avenue, there's a lot of businesses on Girard as well as homes. I believe Girard Avenue has the famous Girard College on it. I don't know how famous that it really is, but I just want to throw the word famous in there. They got shutters on my left, real actual functioning shutters. Wow, spectacular. That's an insider for all the OG viewers. We had working shutters in Old Kensington. Wow, groovy, baby. Yeah, that was cool. All right, this giant plaza right here in front of us is an Acme Supermarket. It used to be a Superfresh. It's an Acme Supermarket, a Petco, it's a wine and spirits and all that stuff in front of us. That whole block on 2nd and Girard was just made, I would say, 15 years ago. I would say, yeah, 12, 11, 10, somewhere from the 10 to 15 year period ago. Let's make this right-hand turn because there used to be a large factory there, a huge, it was a warehouse. And they used to manufacture an alcoholic substance there. I forgot the name of it. I always forget it. And a few people told me in the comment section. I'll be saying chaps or shaps or snaps or it's probably a whole nother name, but there used to be a very large factory there. They knocked it down and they made that whole plaza, which has a dollar store, T-Mobile, a supermarket, and more. All right, so we got American Street on my right. Technically, I can make a right and show y'all American Street, but I want to be cautious because American Street cuts in an angle. All right, let's make this right. I just want to show you this because there's a lot of new buildings back here, and American Street cuts to one of our biggest streets. American Street, that was one of the main initiatives in the projects. Remember when I told you I used to go to those meetings back in like 2001 when I was a youngster? One of the main things that I remember them telling me is that American Street, this is like the top of American Street right here in this neighborhood, was going to end up being gentrified to the point where there was going to be outdoor dining, outdoor restaurants. It was going to be like what they told me was like a South Street. Now, if you're from Philadelphia and you know what South Street is a popular area to hang out in Philly, or it used to be popular. It's probably not as popular as it once was in the past, but it used to be popular. A lot of people go to South Street to shop, to eat, to hang out, right? I was told that American Street was going to turn out to be like that, right? Boom, fast forward. Now there's a lot of outdoor areas starting from this end of American Street. It's not the whole American Street yet, but it's starting from this end of American Street. So you'll see once we get a little bit closer, you guys are gonna see the difference. You're gonna see how, now American Street, right here, it's a 2-lane small street. When we get to the industrial part of American Street, you're gonna see how wide it is. These buildings all on my left are brand new. Luxury houses, luxury apartments. Bam, bam, left and right. Bam, bam. All this was abandoned. Bam, bam, look on my left. Bam, look on my right. Bam, bam, bam. Boom, boom, bow, bing, bow. I sound like fireworks going off, right? But yeah, everywhere. And with all those new homes, bring what? New residents. People from all walks of life. Luxury apartments. Visit www.dwellsecondstreet.com. Everything you need close to home. You hear that? I got you. I told y'all that. Brand new 1 to 2 bedroom luxury apartments. Look at, they got advertisements of this dude playing some type of game in his yard. And look at that. I told y'all. Sorry, I didn't really want to talk over the wind. I don't really like shooting on windy days. And since this street's gonna get a lot wider soon, you'll see why they call American Street, because it's pretty big. Look at the sidewalks. Brand new. All these sidewalks are spanking new, done within the last year. And if you know cement work isn't cheap. Cement work is not cheap. They'll charge you anywhere from 7 to 15 grand to cement a little 12 by 45 slot. And you're talking about miles and miles of sidewalks. Miles and miles, because they started doing all the sidewalks straight up American Street and all throughout the city for that matter, on both sides. Not only did they do new cement, they did new asphalt. Asphalt's that black top. Oh, we saw the little lady with the yellow e-bike who's pulling around. She must be a carrier of some sort, probably picking up laundry. That's what it looked like, something of that nature. We're on American and Master Street. On my left-hand side, we got the Crane Company, Philadelphia Photo Art Center. Classes, workshops, youth education, fine arts, events, artist lab, and membership. I used to take a group of youth there before, so I've been there before. There's a glass business on my right. They sell glass. They're doing a lot of construction right there. This was once an empty lot, and now they're utilizing it. I'm gonna walk in the center just because I think I have a better a better opportunity. Man, I'm gonna walk over there because they're on the sidewalk. That's their fault, not mine. This is about to get really virtual here in a second. You see how they basically just closed off a lot of American Street? There's no cars that can come through here, yet alone pedestrians that can walk. They got the porta potties out here. They got the cinder blocks out here. We got Punch Buggy Brewing Company on my right. And we got Ease Cafe and Lounge on my right, which is an outdoor eatery, which I was telling you guys that. On my left, there's a few more outdoor eateries. We're on Jefferson and American Street. There's tons and tons of new houses made on my right-hand side, my far right, on Hope, I believe Phillip. I was about to say Hope Street. On Phillip side, Phillip is after 2nd Street. So technically we could have made a right and went down Phillip, which is another tiny block, like Palethorpe, Hope Street, Water Street, things like that, but it's cool. Right now we're on the bicycle lane. So check this out. This lane right here in the middle of the street that I'm walking on right now, it's a bicycle lane. We never had that in this block. What used to be in the middle of the street was train tracks. I have a video from 2018 on my channel where I walked through this whole avenue, or let's say street, because it's American Street. When I walk through this whole street, there's an outdoor dining spot on my left. You see all the tables? And if you come here on a nice, warm night, on like a Friday night, a Saturday night, there's tons of young people out here hanging out, eating. And this is just the beginning. They're making more buildings on my right. And they're continuing to work their way down American Street, which is northbound. We're walking northbound. We're on American and Oxford. So yeah, we didn't ever have a bicycle lane here. Now they got bicycle lanes going northbound and one on my left going southbound. Then you see these little center islands on my left. You see this little center island? The island wasn't there. That was the train track. But now they planted trees. These are all basic steps of gentrification. That's how they end up putting up the property taxes. They end up, because none of this comes free. They raise the taxes. Every couple of years, they raise the taxes. Or every year, annually, they raise the taxes. Why? Because we gave you new amenities. We gave you new sidewalks. We gave you new bright lights on the poles. We gave you new handicap ramps. We gave you those pretty trees in the middle of the street. We gave you new main roads because they don't care about the back blocks. Sadly enough to say, they don't care about the back blocks. So we give you all these new things, but they come with a cost. And the people on fixed incomes can no longer afford them, which will eventually wean them out of the neighborhood. Notice I say wean because it's a slow process. They'll get them out of, that's the 57 bus on my left. That'll take you to South Philly. But yeah, so it'll eventually wean everyone out the neighborhood. And then the new residents who can afford that tax increase. Remember we talked about that earlier about how they're used to paying more, so they come here and that's nothing to them. But the people on fixed incomes here can no longer afford it. You understand? So I call that the transfer of wealth. That's why a lot of people say, Tune, I don't ever foresee North Kensington, which is where the opioid crisis is at right now, and it's probably less than several blocks under the avenue. Less than that, it's probably like 5-6 main blocks under the avenue. where that epicenter is at. But they said, I don't ever see it coming back to life. Well, newsflash. This neighborhood was once abandoned and run down too. And at the time, North Kensington looked a little bit better than this Kensington at the time. Now it's the reverse. Now Old Kensington and North Square and Ludlow and all these neighborhoods that are right close to Gerard Avenue, because remember we talked about prime real estate? Yeah, all of the neighborhoods that are, oops, this is Cecil B Moore. I'm gonna make this left-hand turn right here, guys. I'm sorry, I'm gonna make this left-hand turn because we were about to pass Cecil B Moore. This is the border. Right now we just walked into the North Square neighborhood, but we're going to continue walking. We're on the 1700 block of American Street. Almost got sidetracked. That Cube Smart that we just walked by too, they literally just made that Cube Smart. That Cube Smart was not there before. But yeah, guys, that's what it's looking like. See how these sidewalks right here? Notice how I pointed out the other sidewalks being all beautiful. Look at these sidewalks. Gravel, cracked, lifted in some areas. Like, there's spots where you can trip. There's hazardous spots on these sidewalks, but they don't care about them yet. Keyword, notice how I emphasize yet. You know, because look at these little ramp entrances right here. See these handicap ramp entrances? Look down. You see how they're not fancy, they're not all clean yet. Yet. Keyword, yet. You know what I mean? It's all about time. You got to be patient. Greatness doesn't happen overnight. So I wish I could make someone a bet. I wish I could like make like a bet somewhere in history where like if I'm right, like I receive like a large cash capital. Let's make this left on the 1600 block of 3rd Street. We got a church on my left hand side. But I wish there was a spot where I can make a bet and like, all right, Tune, if you're right, then we'll give you $10 million, right? But like, I foresee, you know, a lot of North Philly being renovated, rehabilitated, gentrified, restored, revitalized within the next roughly 10 years. 10 to 15 years. Meaning, all of this is going to move up closer and closer to Lehigh. Then eventually, closer to Allegheny. I know it's going to take some time, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to take some time. There's a lot of disbelievers when it comes to Allegheny. A lot of people don't think Allegheny, but Allegheny was once beautiful, right? It was once beautiful in its heyday in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, right? Well, give it time, you know? Give it time. I know Kensington and Allegheny is going to be one of the first to get cleaned up, which is where that crisis is at, because they want that real estate. That real estate right under the L. That's prime real estate. Believe it or not, that's prime real estate. You got the train entrance. You're next to Main Avenue. Believe me, if you have money right now and you want to invest in some prime real estate, start talking to some of them business owners under Kensington and Allegheny, Kensington and Clearfield, you know, Kensington and Somerset, all those little side blocks. Start talking to them. You know, make them an offer, buy the building, sit on it, pay taxes every year. In 10, 15 years, sell it. It'll be a gold mine. Now, obviously, if you're in your 50s, 60s, you don't have 10, 15 years, or you might not. Hopefully, you do. But if, you're at the end of your lifetime, you don't want to wait 10, 15 years. But if you're young, if you're in your 20s, 30s, and you're sitting on a bag of cash, you might want to go and start investing in some property. We're on 3rd and Oxford. Again, new buildings right here on my left. Cadwalder. I'm gonna make this left-hand turn right here on Cadwalder. And again, this whole strip right here is new. They made this strip right here, I would say, in 2008, 2009, on my left-hand side. So again, like 11, 12 years ago. On my right-hand side, you got the Muslim school. It's like a elementary school. I don't know, I won't be surprised if they do like middle school too there, but it's basically on Germantown Avenue. It's, I don't know, what do they call it? Do they call it a mosque? I don't want to say the incorrect term and people get offended, but yeah, it's basically where a lot of the Muslims take their children for, I guess, private schooling and or daycare. Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been fun walking and talking with you, but we have reached our 1 hour mark. We didn't do the entire Old Kensington neighborhood, but I just wanted to give you some hope. I wanted to enlighten you, share some knowledge on you, show you guys a different side of Kensington that you guys don't normally see glorified on every other channel. With that being said, this is your homeboy Tune. You know, show some love, comment in the comment section, let me know your thoughts. Share any stories, any memories, comment with other viewers from across the globe so you guys can socialize. This is Mr. Tune, Tune 215, Tune Dollars, Tune Ski, Tunism, Tune Be Chillin', Tunage, Tune 1, Bad Tune, Super Tune, Toonie Califragilistic Expialidocious, and I'm tuning out.